I find it kind of ironic that the 9th console generation, the one that we're in right now, was built up as being like this amazing technical leap forward for console gaming. It was going to be the best console generation of all time, and really the only notable thing that's happened this generation is the complete erasure of exclusives from everybody's business strategy. And just the other day, we got even more evidence of that. And if what I'm about to show you is not hard evidence that exclusives truly do not matter anymore, I really don't know what is. Also, before we get into that, can I just show you guys the funniest reel that I've seen in like a year? I saw this morning on the pooper, and I haven't stopped thinking about it, so you have to watch it too now. So yeah, anyways, now that we've seen the really important thing that I had to show you, let's talk about exclusives and how they don't matter. So a couple things came out the other day that I want to talk about, both of which you've probably seen at some point, but I think they have more significance than we probably realize. So the first thing I want to talk about is this data from Circana. I never know how to actually pronounce this, I really don't care. But it is the all-time best-selling PlayStation games ever in the United States in both dollars made and units sold. So it is two lists here. One of them is ranking the top 20 best-selling games by dollars, and then the top 20 games based on units sold. And the little disclaimer down here at the bottom is that software packaged with hardware is not included in the bestseller charts, which that's going to be kind of important going forward. But putting this on screen, what you'll realize pretty quickly is that Guitar Hero 3 was one of the best-selling games of all time, which, fucking deserved. That game slaps. But another thing that you're going to realize here is the shocking lack of PlayStation exclusives on the best-selling PlayStation games chart. There are only 3 of them on the dollars chart, and there's only 3 of them on the units chart. Excuse me, there's 5 on the units sold. On the dollars side, the 3 PlayStation exclusives on the list are the 3 Insomniac Spider-Man games, but then on the units sold, there's the 3 Spider-Man games, plus Last of Us, plus God of War 2018. And I find this interesting for several reasons. First of all, I think it's very interesting that Sony and all of the Sony faithful say that exclusives are the best-selling games, that exclusives are financially the way to go, and yet you look at this chart, and that seems utterly untrue, because both of these charts are riddled with multi-platform games. Specifically Call of Duty, sure, but even outside of Call of Duty, if you were to remove Call of Duty from this list, that means on the dollar side, you can still only manage 3 of them. And on the unit side, you can only manage 5. And we're talking PlayStation here. The only major mainstream non-Nintendo gaming platform that still prides itself on exclusives and forces exclusives upon everybody as if it's the greatest, most wonderful business strategy in the world. Here we are with yet another piece of hard data that's not actually long-term sustainable, nor is it even true that exclusives are financially the best move. And I want to come back to this thing at the bottom here, because I saw some PlayStation fanboys trying to use this as an excuse as to why the PlayStation exclusives aren't up there. If that's the reason the PlayStation exclusives aren't up there, how many PlayStations do you think are actually being sold? And frankly, that makes it worse. If you think that PlayStation is making all of their units sold of their exclusive games off of bundles, that makes it worse. Because that means that PlayStation fans aren't buying the games unless they're in a bundle, which is a bizarre tactic. But if you can't rely on your consumer base to buy games after you've bundled a game with the hardware, if that's actually the defense you're trying to use, does that not make this even worse? So that's the first thing I want to show you, but the second thing I want to show you is this report that you've probably seen. Console gaming is seeing a drastic drop in hardware purchases among 18 to 24-year-olds, which you would think is like the core audience for gaming hardware purchases, because that's generally the age of people who are going to be more buying hardware. You're 18 to 24, you're making your own money, you're making your own financial decisions, which means you're going to be buying consoles at a much higher rate or buying gaming hardware at a higher rate than someone who's more financially we'll say, adult about things, and yet console sales are drastically dropping, while PC gaming is on the rise. And it seems that one of the main reasons cited for this happening is the loss of exclusives, which I find fascinating, because for years now, I have been told that exclusives aren't the only reason to buy a console, that yes, exclusives are important, but if you took exclusives away, the console itself, it's still a great console. Because my argument has always been that if the console needs exclusives to hold itself up, if it can't exist without exclusives, it's not actually a good product, because there's no technical reason why those exclusives can't be elsewhere. There's no pro-consumer reason why those exclusives can't be elsewhere. And the argument that I've always gotten in return is that there's a lot more value to the system aside from the exclusives. We buy the system because the system is great and also there's exclusives. Well, I would love for you people to explain this now. Because now that exclusives are going away, people are flocking away from the console that was holding those exclusives hostage. It's almost like when you take exclusives away, the console isn't actually a desirable purchase, which means the entire system is anti-consumer, and I have been right the whole goddamn time. If the hardware and the ecosystem cannot stand on their own 2 feet and they have to be holding pieces of art hostage, that means you are being coaxed into that hardware ecosystem for reasons that the hardware ecosystem should not be coaxing you in for. Because once you take the exclusives away, you immediately realize that a different hardware ecosystem will suit your needs and suit your wants as a gamer better than the one that you were on. Because you were on the first one for anti-consumer reasons. You were there because what you actually wanted was the games. And once the games are taken away, the hardware ecosystem has a whole bunch of flaws or a whole bunch of shortcomings compared to this other one, and they are using the exclusives to hide those from you. I've been saying this for years. PC gamers have been saying this for years. And now, here it is, right in front of us. And this really shouldn't be surprising. I don't know why anyone really treats these things as surprising news, but the reason I'm even making this video is because everyone treats these as surprising news, when I feel like these things have been completely obvious for years now. Like, what, you didn't realize that consoles were on the decline around the time that Sony started putting their games on PC? You didn't realize that Sony and Microsoft were going to catch on to the fact that people were going to go to the PC instead of sticking with the console around the time that they started putting their games on PC or putting their games on each other's consoles, because the idea of console exclusivity has just lost its luster at this point. People aren't buying it anymore. People don't believe that consoles need exclusives anymore, and gaming has become such a wide field with so many games to play, so many developers, so many publishers, so many genres, that people don't feel the need to tie themselves down to this one underwhelming platform for the sake of a handful of games. And before you say, Joe, these platforms aren't underwhelming, well, people sure are leaving them the second the games go to other platforms, so yes, the platform is underwhelming if the games are all that are keeping you there. Consumers used to be stuck with a certain platform if they wanted this handful of games. Now, if they want that handful of games, they have several hardware options. And now that they have several hardware options, the tide is shifting. Which means the hardware that they were on either needs to adapt, either needs to improve, or it's going to die. And frankly, that is a good thing. I've been saying this for years. If something cannot stand up to the competition, it needs to improve or it needs to die. That is the point of the open marketplace. That is what gives the consumer power. And I can't wait for the people to tell me that, well, Joe, what are we going to do without competition? Well, like if these platforms die, what about competition? You guys didn't care about competition until the exclusives started going away. You were perfectly fine with there not being competition during the exclusives era. Because let's be real with each other. A game being held hostage on a certain platform, that's not the platform competing. That is the platform taking its ball and going home. But once everyone has access to the ball, that platform that was holding the ball hostage and trying to go home is no longer appealing. So tell me, was that competition or was that taking the ball and going home? If the consumer does not want the platform, once the exclusive games are made available everywhere else, is that a problem with the market? Is that a problem with competition? Or is that the platform losing competition now that it has actually fully entered the ring of competition? I think the answer is incredibly clear. Exclusives do not matter in the current industry, and I am so glad that people are waking up to this. Exclusives do not matter, nor should they matter. And I also love that the console exclusive fan brigade isn't even, I haven't seen them even trying to spin this, you know? Because usually there's a weird spin. Usually they're trying to argue why this information that is objectively damaging to their favorite corporation is actually a good thing, or it's not good, but it's even worse for the other corporation we don't like. I haven't been seeing like any of that. Maybe I'm not looking in the right places, but I don't know how you spin this. If you're a PlayStation fanboy, if you're a hardcore Xbox fanboy, I don't know how you spin this, you know? Because this is just reality. It's going to hit you in the face sooner or later. Just fucking deal with it. Because I'll say it for the millionth time, I don't understand why if you like this game, if you really love this game, if you think this developer is great, if you think this publisher is great, you think they have great games, I don't understand why you also think you can only play that game if you give this corporation $400-$500. I don't understand why you think that needs to be part of the equation. It objectively does not need to be part of the equation unless you only care about the corporation and not the game itself. The exclusives era is just coming to a close. It just is. That's the way it is. That's the way it should be. If you care about games and you don't care about corporations, if you just care about games, if you care about art, if you care about gaming as an art form, this is a good thing. If you care about gaming as a pro-consumer place for a hobby, this is a good thing. If you are just a corporate cheerleader, it's not a good thing. But I also don't give a shit about your opinion if that's the camp you fall into, okay? Doofus Club time. Vector Vendetta, Autry Kev Dog 1992, Mechanical Resonance, Joe looks like Vec from Paul Blart. I'm cool with that. Vec is a hottie. Ed Omega, Madfax 94, XJ Induction, Piplet, Bowler Hat, Biscuit 111, Celerot, Bear Brain, MX, Killer B2 Gaming, Stick Rider, Broken Crown, Pope Bravo the Wrecking, Joe Blows Manholes, I Seens It, No Motorcycle Yet, just got my first car, Devastator 2000, Seven Christensen's, Jake Spider Monkey 1994, hashtag BandShitTV, Gar Secret Horse Sons, Joe Schmo from Schmeattles to Schmitz, Chris Void, Vast Dennis, Oh No Solid Alex, Band J Tech TV, Gaming the Dead People Muskie, Howard 789, Big Fudge, Bolt Vanderhuge, Jude, shut the fuck up, you're a little kid, Wings, Klepto Penguin, the Judge of 6, Multi, and the Beast is really Zerd, Oracle, with Charlie King, Boys Upside Down, Pedro Pascal's Left Hand, Nate, Blaster, 14, Jimmy Chops, Curbside Anthem, should be My Chemical, Joe Mance, Master Killer, Fire for Storm, 2056, Meet Papa Jules, No, Tom Strong, Lexington, Porter Bridges, Unknowns to 186718, Zombie Killer 5072, Official Dregs, I call my GF Bracelet because it's what she likes in bed, I still don't understand what that means, Avion Pepper 4, Grimsy, Ed Shadow Bear, 1799, Q-Screw, Unico, Rocker, Benefund, I live in DSP's Walls, and Silly Knows Books, fuck you, it's not Black Fatigue, it's Black Obsession, T-Train Rising, and non-vol... T-Train Rising, and non-vol I lied, I didn't forget to change my name, Partial Mean 8, Volks, Autocon Main 437WX. Oh boy, the Gamer 127YT, Allroth 01, Dog Nixie Smile, Snake Eyes 227, I changed the name back to Gamer Word 72, MK2396E, Hentai, Smoking Game, Elite Fire, Hazard 105, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Lord, Bowser the Second, Joe, Laughs at Us in the Mode, Gay, Local Adult with Autism, PC Gamer, Jessica Shepard, oh my god, Jessica Shepard, Ricky Spall, Ricky Tabby, don't know about Gar, Horse, but I'll be the Godfather of the Crewman, the Steel Angel, Droller of Stinky Rats, Sergeant Justin Bond, Baron Von Vaderham, Cyrus 6771, True Text 940, I stuck on your PC and pre-order Black Ops 7 on your PC with your money, True Creed Warrior 23, Creed War 23, Max the Chap, Simulate the Chat, totally insane. Guard love getting railed by big horse food and mommies. Oh my fucking god. Night of Cyber ML04, Iron 6 Cyber 6 Click 2006 on Blu-ray. Wolf Midnight, Pig Bean, Steve Went Studios, Film Kraken, Ohm Gaming, Treat Brown, Thor's Game, Maganex, Severin, Everest, Mr. Tony 03, it's County for Hawaii, Mexico, Pow Pow, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Jaws Next on Twitch, coming y'all. God Gonson, Rogue Winter 19, Bob, Zach Thane, Candy and Fanny, Payment for Hire, Ellen Wolf, Frost Crystal, Biogenesis, Ian Action, Probably Pinkus 97, Mega Key, Scrubby Skull, Ghost Ho, Ryusagi, Vasco, Ratchet Tim, Almost Step 94, Blue Hook, The Windy Wanka, Mr. Techno Squeak, Jody Petus, Minnie, Yegaman Jensen, Mick Advertisement, Diego Garcia, Kibikins, Iron American Idiot, Harmon Smith, on the Chin, Ono Stressing, Ray Rue 21, Extreme Rule 7, Joey Scoops, Smelly Wrestling Geek, Joe Taku, Retro, Wannabe Hobo, Judge, Westa, Bill 310 Jar, Rob Sieg, Veg, Groove, Nina, Kurt Announcement, Saul Hathon, it's not Joe, it's no Joeski, it's a Joing 747. Okay, I like that one. I like that one a lot more. I like that one a lot more than whatever you were doing. I appreciate that. Okay, toodles.